It is 6:30 p.m. and just making sure you know where you're at. You're at the April 8th regular meeting of the Willits City Council. Tonight, Councilman Burton is out of town, unable to attend. The Vice Mayor has done the proper notification and he's joined us via Zoom. Isn't that correct, Mr. Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Okay. A couple things that we're going to do, start with call to order, but just letting you know before we start with the agenda. On the consent calendar, items number C as in Charles, D as in David are not going to be discussed tonight. They're going to be discussed at our next City Council meeting. So with that in mind, City Clerk, do the Pledge of Allegiance. Gary Huddle, the President of the Willits Chamber of Commerce.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Kurt.
Councilmember Burton, Gonzalez,
Present.
Stransky,
Yes.
Alanis,
Here.
Almond.
Here.
The City Council welcomes input from the audience. If there is a matter of business on the agenda that you are interested in, you may address the council when this matter is considered. If you wish to speak on a matter that is not on the agenda, you may do so at this time. In order for everyone to be heard, please limit your comments to 3 minutes per person. The Brown Act regulations do not allow action to be taken on audience comments in which the subject is not listed on the agenda.
So we do this two ways. We do it first, if you have anything that you'd like to speak of on the agenda, you're welcome to, including items C and D of the consent calendar. If you came here to speak on those agenda items, even though they're being pulled from this agenda tonight, you're welcome to discuss them. And then after that, if there's a reason you need to talk about any agendized item, but you have a time schedule, you'll be given an opportunity to speak so you can go about and live your life. So with that in mind, is there anybody who would like to speak about any non-agendized item? Nikki.
Hello, my name is Nikki Caldwell. First off, I had the privilege to attend the opening ceremony for the Little League Baseball on Saturday. Our very own Nigel Sweeney was recognized for all the hard work he put into the fields and was granted the opening pitch. I would like to take a second to also give a heartfelt thank you to Devin Howard, who had been helping set up all of this until 4 days prior to opening days. This is when he was, because of the reorganization, he was put in a different department. So Devin, thank you very much. I appreciate everything you did for the field. Second, this is the first meeting after the reorganization without some of our own. I just wanted to take a second and tell them that we miss them and wish it would have been different. Thank you.
That was very polite. Thank you very much, Nikki. Is there anybody else who would like us to talk on any non-agendized item? By all means. You just state your name, please, and
Yes.
you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Andrea Stone. I live in Brook Trails. I'm going to read what I have to say because I am not a public speaker. As I'm sure you are aware, we live in an extremely generous community, which is willing to pull together during difficult times and crises, such as we did during the recent federal budget issue, with many coming forward to help ensure that no one went hungry or without essential services. And though individuals have certainly done their part, when it comes to donating money or goods, the burden falls mainly on the shoulders of our business owners. However, many of them are struggling financially as well. When seeking donations for an event that I'm planning, I was told by several business owners that they would love to participate, but were unsure that they would even be able to pay their utility bills that month. I feel we are on a precipice, and that if we as a community continue to rely on our local businesses as a well of resources without adding to that well, when the next crisis hits, we will find that it has been tapped. Now is the time to shore up this resource and to find ways of supporting the notion of community, self-sufficiency and sustainability. To that end, on April 18th, I will be holding a donation drive and event to benefit the Willits Food Bank, though I am doing so independently and not as an affiliate of that organization, to not only bring in needed items, but to promote and encourage patronage of our local restaurants and merchants. This Give and Get drive asks community members to bring in $15 to $20 worth of diapers, baby food and formula, or feminine hygiene products to exchange for a $5 coupon from one of 18 participating locally owned restaurants, plus entry in 30 raffles for items, gift certificates, or free services from local merchants. With the donation of an additional item, people can also enter 8 raffles for prizes worth over $125, also coming from Willits businesses. For each raffle, I will post the name and location of the merchant providing the prize, along with promotional information about who they are and what they do, in the hopes that this will bring awareness and support for said businesses. The restaurants participating will also receive promotion at the event, and I have listed all of the donating businesses on social media and in the Willits Weekly and on flyers that I will be posting around town tomorrow. All of this will take place at the Inner Earth Tea House and will be designed to feel like a Mediterranean-type oasis where folks can trade and find rest after refreshment. Along with Cars Deli, I will be providing free themed food and non-alcoholic beverages, games and prizes, and a kids' art and activity station. I have also reached out to the Willits Chamber of Commerce, though I have not heard back, but would appreciate anything that you can do or suggestions you might have to help promote and spread the word about this donation drive event. I am also desperately in need of volunteers, so I would be grateful for any help you can add on that front. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you on the 18th.
Andrea, you're a good public speaker, so thank you for being here. I heard everything except where it's going to be.
At the Inner Earth Tea House.
Which is where?
Near the Muse on 48 East San Francisco Avenue.
48 East San Francisco. At what time on this 18th?
From 1 to 4:30.
And the president of the Chamber of Commerce is in the green shirt, Gary,
Oh, lovely.
and he'd be happy to, I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you.
Great.
So, thank you very much,
That
Andrea,
is all.
thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak on any non-agendized item? Okay, is there anybody who needs to get out of here and would like to speak about an agendized item, but you can't wait? Well, once, going twice, public comment is closed. All right, we have no new public matters and we have no enactment of ordinances. But with the enactment of ordinances, we'll say this several times, with our new entertainment zone, there is going to be, in this council chambers next Wednesday, our new ordinance, our entertainment zone is going to be an information meeting at 5:30, right after the financial committee meeting. And with that, we'll go to the consent calendar. City Council considers matters listed under the consent calendar as routine. The council will take action with a single motion and a roll call vote. A council member may request the removal of any item from the consent calendar for separate discussion and subsequent action. Remember, items number C and D are not going to be on the consent calendar tonight, so we have items A and B and E. So we're going to what's been presented to us, the City Council meeting for March 25th of 2026. The adoption of resolution approving a revised pay classification schedule effective April 1st, 2026. And E as in Edward is approval of a resolution authorizing the Willits Chamber of Commerce car and bike show and road closure for May 24th. This says presenting staff member Connor Speck, but it's on the consent calendar. So to the public, is there any comment on these items? Anybody want to comment on it? Going once, going twice. Public comments closed. To the council?
I would like to move the consent calendar.
Items A, B, and E. Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Gonzalez with Councilman Stransky. Second it to the clerk.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Yes.
Stransky.
Yes.
Alanis.
Yes.
Almond.
Aye. All right, moving on. Connor, good job. You didn't have to present anything, okay?
It's that good.
Well done. I get it. I get it. Okay, monthly activity reports they do not require action by the city council. We have accounts payable activity report March of 2028 or 2026. Sorry, I'm not 2 years in advance. Any public comment on the monthly activity report? Have you had a chance to review them, council?
Yeah.
Public comment? Going once, going twice. Public comments closed. To the council, any comment?
No.
Well, I'll do a comment, and that's supposedly with Springbrook, we are going to be able to get the cash statements that we were getting when our finance director was here, and I'm hoping that that can get back into the routine of things where we can have that, because I know Councilman Burton, who's missing tonight, he would be asking about this right now. So if we can, if Springbrook actually does produce that with a touch of a button like we were promised, I hope we can do that. Council, anything else? This is a no action. Okay, moving on. We are currently meeting as a planning commission and a city of Willits successor agency until we can get rid of that, but we're still doing it to the city manager report, verbal report.
Yes, sir. To your point, Mr. Heath and I are currently working on a more robust council report on the state of the finances for you to have at every meeting. It should be at your next meeting there for you to peruse. With that, I'm down to my last few weeks. I think things will go fairly quickly. There's a lot still left to do on the table. If any council members have any additional items that you want me to address, please let me know as soon as possible. Otherwise, I am extremely impressed by the work I'm seeing by staff. They are jumping in, they're innovating, they're working hard, they're learning new tasks, new functions, new ways of doing things. And then to the greatest extent with that effort, I'm just sitting back and watching because it's really good work. And so I'm very hopeful that you got a good future here.
We all are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay, public comment on the city manager's report. Once, going twice. Public comment on the city manager's report is closed. All right, there's going to be a quick meeting here. All right, to department recommendations. So you're not out of this yet, Connor. Announcement of the City of Willits Chamber of Commerce First Friday's Summer Concert Series with events May 1st, June 5th, August 7th, and September 4th, presenting staff member Connor Staff.
So again, just as stated, here to announce the Willits Chamber of Commerce's First Friday Summer Concert Series with events on May 1st, June 5th, August 7th, and September 4th. There are a series of city-approved events taking place from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on those dates, not to repeat myself verbally. During these events, East Commercial Street between Main and Humboldt Street will be temporarily closed to allow space for vendors, live music, and community activities. Additional event space will include the adjacent alley and parking lot, which are visible from Main Street, creating an expanded area for the public to enjoy. All detour signs will be removed by 9:30 each evening. To ensure emergency access, temporary no parking zones will be established along the main route, such as areas immediately next to the fire department at their request, so that fire trucks can easily get in and out at that closure directly next to their station. The primary detour route for these events will be similar to the one used during the annual car show, with traffic redirected onto State Street around Bud Snyder Park to bypass the closure at Main and East Commercial Street. Again, as a reminder, the traffic will be directed all the way around Bud Snyder Park to keep the routes around the fire station clear. So if anybody needs to get out of there rapidly, they can. I'm just here to announce it. I don't know if...
So Connor, in order to have an entertainment zone for those events, an organization other than the city would have to actually go through the permit process to say, we'd like an entertainment zone?
So currently, there's this First Friday event doesn't have to do with the entertainment zone.
I get it.
Next week, there's some discussion about it, and I believe that the resolution and the rule set for it could possibly come up at a future council meeting. But as of so far, with the map that's being put in place with that question, the only business that I believe would benefit from it would be Flying Dog.
Okay.
Because they're the only business that directly borders the event in question. So
it's just the east side of the highway?
Yes, it's just that very small portion of East Commercial Street,
okay,
and that parking lot. And because the parking lot directly borders Flying Dog, in theory, if there was an entertainment zone, which we don't have in place,
I see.
it could take advantage of
I see.
it. But it's only those businesses that are bordering events that already have an APC license in place.
Okay. The council, any questions?
Connor, so for these events, we have done, I guess, reach out to the neighbors and any affected businesses in their detour route or whatever, so they're all aware that this is happening or going to happen?
By my understanding, yes. I believe the chamber went around and did their duties to do so.
Okay. I mean, as long as everybody, it's not a surprise. I know people go, it was in the paper, and then they go, I don't read the paper, so.
Yes.
We've had a lot
there-
with our 4th of July parade, that people find that something's been happening for forever, all of a sudden is a mystery to them, so
There's been independent notification.
that was it.
I can absolutely say that because I've had many businesses say that you've gone in their place of business to talk about this, which is really great. Thank you. Larry.
Who is going to pay for the people that are going to patrol this? Who's going to set up the restrooms for the event? And who's going to take the trash out and when it's all done?
All of the responsibilities for maintenance of an event are responsibilities of the event coordinator. So that would be the chamber in this case,
Okay, so the chamber will take care of everything.
like they have with all the other events. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anything else?
Nope, that'll do it.
To the Vice Mayor, any questions? No. Public comment? Any public comment on this? Once, going twice. Connor, thank you very much. You don't need action on this. It's just information only, right?
Just information.
Thank you very much. So really, truly, ladies and gentlemen, we're 16 minutes into this meeting and we're almost done. What's that? Oh, okay. All right, to the City Council announcements, communications, and reports. I'll start with the Vice Mayor, because he has something coming up next week.
Yeah. Just a couple of things. We had our MTA meeting recently, and the main focus is working with our partners to secure grant money. They're looking towards creating a new office space for the MTA, as well as a new transit center right next to the new Justice Center, the new courthouse that was being currently built behind. So we're hoping to turn that into a mixed-use office space MTA, as well as possibly some other services, maybe the library, maybe some housing, but that's what the MTA, that's what we're working on right now. And I attended an IMCOG meeting on Monday, and we finalized the report for the regional transportation plan and the active transportation plan. It's a long process that IMCOG goes through to make sure that all the stakeholders have a voice. For particular concern for the city of Willits, there was a little bit of controversy regarding the priority for trains. If you are not familiar with the situation, the Skunk Train is a private company, and there's a lot of legal issues about their use of the internet domain that have been recently decided, and it allows them to ask for funding and granting money. There were a number of concerns. This is an company who didn't see an entertainment-based train service as being the type of services that the county should warrant money to. Honestly, in that discussion, a lot of those debate had a lot to do with the recent current legal decisions. So the courts have thrown a monkey wrench into people's plans into that, so we're somewhat waiting on that. But the final plan, the RTP and ATP plan, has been approved. And if you'd like to take a look at it, anybody still can. It's on the IMCOG website. And that's the most of the activity what we're working on IMCOG. So just trying to keep an eye on making sure that the Skunk Train remains a viable business for the city of Willits. And hopefully decisions in the legal system will work out in a way that allow us to continue to expand and fix a lot of the track that needs to be repaired. It would only benefit the city of Willits if that was to happen.
Right, and just a question, but the Federal Railroad Authority did recognize the Skunk Train as a legitimate railroad, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yes, they did. And much of the work, especially some of the pre-planning that went into the Rails for Trail program, were under the, I wouldn't say assumption, but we're going under the idea that that the courts were going to move away from that. They made their case that the Skunk Train was just entertainment, basically a local fun zone, not necessarily transportation, and of course, it's agreed. So the RTP, ATP reflects that. There are currently no planned projects for the county that's going to be spending money to fix that, but a lot of people are concerned about that. So those are very important issues with Willits that I, on the INCOG board, and the city of Willits need to pay attention to, because we want to ensure that that our storm training is recognized, so we continue to get the grant money it needs to be a fully funded service. But again, that only benefit the people of Willits. So
Thank you.
hoping that goes there.
Anything else to report?
No, thank you.
Okay, to Jerry Bells.
I attended LAFCO on Monday, and basically we reseated our chair and vice chair treasurer. Our chair is Mo Mohern from the Board of Supervisors. Our vice chair and treasurer is Jerry Ward. He's our public member. They did kind of ask, I guess there's a ask that the mayors all meet for the city selection committee meeting, and I guess apparently there hasn't been an opportunity for that to happen, and apparently at least 2 members on the board from Ukiah need to be re-upped on that. And
every time I've said yes, they've said no.
yeah, so not sure where they, and then the only thing of importance is we passed our proposed budget and work plan for 2026. 27, we kept our fees the same. LAFCO's funded basically by the 4 cities and all the special districts. And based on the cities pay a certain amount, the special districts pay another amount, and that's what funds LAFCO. We've kept the fees the same this year, and so and that was distributed out to all the different entities for review, comment, and it'll come back at our May 4th meeting for a final adoption, and that's it.
LAFCO, Local Area Formation
Commission.
Is a big deciding entity, political entity that allows public entities to grow or whatever, whether it's a sewer entity or a water or a political subdivision. LAFCO is very important.
And just to put it in perspective, in the old days, when if an entity wanted water, if you wanted water and you were out in the county, you just got a hold of your city and they gave it to you, or PG&E or whatever. And now, in order to do that, you basically have to go to LAFCO and, in essence, agree to be annexed at a certain point. And that's by law. All those handshake agreements that used to happen can't happen anymore. And that's by law.
Larry, anything?
Yes, I want to know what happened with the big tank that was going to come out at the sewer plant for the surface water, not for the surface water, but for the water that was pumped. What happened with that?
I can speak to that.
Sure.
And Davey the mic here.
I'd be quicker to stand up. Thank you, Councilmember Stransky. So yeah, I did some research on that recently. We are currently under contract for the tank. That went out to contract bid in 2023. We awarded that contract to Superior Tank, and we have issued, I think, 3 change orders to date, totaling about 1,000 days to be under contract, and then material prices have been going up. So we have not released the foundation out to bid. So that is a priority. We'll be bringing that to council as part of this next fiscal budget, hopefully, to get that portion of the project done. The plans are complete for the foundation. We have all the information to do the foundation. What was not done on that was the pumps and controls and the connections for a pump house. It's like a proposed section, so it's not a complete package. So what I would propose to do would be to break that project up into 2 phases, get the foundation poured, complete our current contract with the tank manufacturer that has the materials under contract, and then next year work on phase 2, which would be the pump house and the controls. And that would be a continuation of the groundwater resiliency project that we've already started and put in place. So that will be coming forth to council here in the next probably month or 2.
Okay, so the tank will be in what, 2 or 3 years?
I would hope to have the foundation poured this fiscal year. So hopefully by the end of October, if we could possibly get it, because we already have the tank. So with materials pricing and fuel going up, we are under contract. So as the time goes by, we've been giving them extra time on their contract. And every time we have a materials price increase, we've been increasing that. So there's another option. We could just cancel the tank, but that would also put you back time and progress. We'd have to rebid the tank again. So there's options, and we'll bring them forth to you guys, council. But I'd recommend breaking the project into 2 portions, doing the foundation. That way the tank can be installed, and then we can move forward with the design for the second phase.
Do you have any idea on when we can start filling it with water?
I couldn't give you a solid answer on that because right now we still have to put a package together to bid the foundation work.
Okay, thank you. The last thing I have is that I mentioned about the people that are riding their bikes and their scooters down the main street, not the main street, but the main sidewalk. And when school is out, I had a wheelie right in front of my store that my wife owns, and I happen to be on the outside coming out, and I now really look both ways before I do anything, and telling you it's still happening. And somebody's going to get nailed coming out of a store.
Is there a time of day that it happens more than others?
Yeah, high school when they release high school out
In the afternoon?
in the afternoon.
Okay. The chief is nodding.
We've been out there since the last meeting as time allows, and we're doing the best we can pending calls for service. But I can assure you that the officers are out there and they're trying to make contact when
Thank you.
they observe the violations.
Mayor, I also would like to add, I'm going to share Mr. Stransky's concerns with the office, and I'm sure that we can make announcements to all of the students to remind themselves of some basic bike safety.
Courtesy, yes. Is there public comment? Bobby?
Hi, my name is Nikki Caldwell.
Wait until this motorcycle so they can hear you. All right, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Nikki Caldwell. I want to agree with Mr. Stransky. I live right across the middle school, and what you see every day from 2:40 on is horrifying. I do not know how none of those kids got hit yet. We all remember T-Man who went down Poplar. This is exactly the same situation. They come up on Magnolia, they drive down full gas in Magnolia. And I don't know how if ever somebody comes around the corner at the wrong time, it's going to be it. So, thank you.
And is that anything more?
That's it.
And for me, I had no meeting. We'll join the vice mayor for the finance committee meeting next Wednesday in this room at 4 p.m., followed by the entertainment zone committee meeting. We in Willits, we see things that are being done, and we say this is great. We see the bright red fire hydrants, which is great. We see Nigel and Devin absolutely taking care of the park. We see these things, but I just want to give a shout out to the people that are doing things that we just don't see, but on the other hand, because they're done right, we, the council, aren't hearing about them. And we've seen an increase in the water billing, processing. We've seen a decrease in complaints about the building department, building permits. Things are working in Willits right now. And it's all because, as the city manager said, people are stepping up and they've assumed new responsibilities. They're assuming taking on tasks that really and truly they weren't hired to do, but they've agreed to do. And this time last year, honestly, we didn't know where we were going financially. At this point, we believe we have a 30 to 36 month plan, and it's only going to work if everybody does what they're expected to and they're paid to do, and the taxpayers are happy. Let me tell you, I have people come stop by my house saying things are working. And I really appreciate where we're going. We're heading in the right direction, and I appreciate it. So, of course, to Devin and to Nigel, thank you very much. To Davey, to make sure that the fence was down for opening day of Little League, and so every parking spot was there. That doesn't just happen by accident. It happens because you're pushing and you make things work. And when you're a small city, you don't get Sacramento's attention. You just have to take care of yourself. So to the employees, thanks for your patience. Things are working. So is there anything more good in order?
Mayor, I'd like to say what you're talking about is exactly right. The mood that I've been experiencing as well from the citizens. And I like to refer to it as hashtag Willits Waiting. Because we're definitely doing a lot of good stuff here. And it's not just the city, it's the people pulling together to make these happen. So I would second your comments.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to end the regular session.
Can I do a good welfare?
Good welfare. Go ahead.
Right now, you can still buy tickets for the Sober Grad Tri-Tip Dinner. I believe they're still out there, and so that's coming up. So I guess they've got them all over town, and I think they have a 101 trailer. They got them up at the high school and a couple other businesses in town. So keep that in mind. That's a big fundraiser for Sober Grad.
So the regular session for the Willits City Council is closed, and we are going to convene in closed session. Thank you very much. Good evening. It is 7:38, and the Willits City Council has just ended our closed session, and instruction and direction was given to staff.